Mr. Matt Sampson.
It gives me great pleasure this morning to introduce our first speaker of the week here at Mountaineer Boys State. He is a personal friend of mine, and don't hold this against him, a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. All right. He is also married to a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. He is a member of the American Legion at Mountaineer, Post 174 in Morgantown, and is wrapping up his one-year term as president of the Rotary Club at Cheat Lake, West Virginia, near Morgantown. But that's not why he's here to talk to you. He's here to motivate you for this week. And I'm quite certain he's going to do that. And the reason he can motivate you is because he is self-motivated. This man, in 2012, so 12 years ago, ran across the United States of America 3,452 miles in 100 days. Every single one of those 100 days. So I know that he can motivate you to have a great Mountaineer Boys State. So please give a warm Boys State welcome to Jamie Summerlin. Well, good morning. How are we doing this morning? You guys hear me okay? Yeah. All right, just making sure. So before we get started, it's good to see the energy here. I want everybody to do me a favor here real quick. So we got the left side of the room, your right, the right side of the room, your left. So when I point over this way, I want this side to go, ooh. And when I point over to this side, I want you to go, ah. Okay? So let's practice that. Ooh. Ah. All right, now do me one other favor. Go ahead and scoot out just to the edge of your seat. Get right to the edge of your seat. Kind of lean in here a little bit. All right? Okay, ready? Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. Now when I go home this evening, I'm going to tell my wife when she asks me how the speech went, I'm going to say, honey, I had them on the edge of their seats and they were oohing and ahhing through the entire thing. So, all right, thank you very much. Go ahead, scoot back. All right, I got to get you started. I got to get everybody warmed up here this morning. So I speak loud anyway, so just forgive me. I'll get behind the mic sometimes I won't. But today, I want to talk about numbers. So Matt shared a little bit about numbers with you on my journey. 12 years ago, 3,452 miles in 100 days. I'm not going to ask you to do public math because I don't like to myself. However, it's about 34 and a half miles a day for 100 straight days. So how many of you have ran a 5K here in the room? All right, so multiply that by 11 every single day for 100 straight days. Those are some pretty big numbers. But I had to start on the first day. It took that first step, it took that first day to get things moving. You just had your first night at Mountaineer Boys State. The first night's always interesting. Typically, I come in on Sundays and I'll do the speech to kick everything off, to get everybody excited. You don't know exactly what's going to happen. You're getting ready to spend your first night. Well, your first night might have been quite interesting. Some of you might have slept really, really good. Some of you might not have slept at all. Maybe an hour of sleep, got a chance to meet new people, have conversations, learn about each other. If the first night wasn't what you expected, however, guess what? You've got today to make up for it. You've got one more day in front of you to be able to make today the best day it can possibly be. The first day will always stand out. You're about to complete your first 24 hours here at Mountaineer Boys State. And the first day is something that you'll probably remember because you've built relationships. You've gotten to know each other. You've learned a little bit about what you're going to be doing here at Boys State. The first day of my run was very impactful. It was a 39-mile day, and I ran that entire day with one guy, and he happened to be my wife's elementary school first grade teacher. He said he wanted to be a part of something special. He wanted to be there on that first day with me, because we started in Oregon, where my wife was from, and he did not realize how much of an impact he had on me that day by joining me. He thought he was being a part of something special. I was the one who was honored to have him with me, because I had somebody there by my side taking every single step of the way with me. My son attended Boys State 7 years ago. He's a grad from here. He still has relationships that he built 7 years ago. And I know some of those relationships are going to be lifelong friendships. You have a huge opportunity to get close and get to know your fellow brothers from here in the state of West Virginia. People that are going to continue to make a challenge and change in your life. The first week were a lot of challenges. When I did that run, it wasn't easy. Started off at the ocean. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. 5 days into it, I go from 1,000 feet in elevation to 5,300 feet in elevation. My legs were killing me. It's pouring the snow down literally. We had snow drifts taller than the RV that was traveling with me. I was faced with a lot of challenges that week, but I had people there beside of me every single day, just like you will have this week yourself. You've got 6 days here at Boys State to make a change in your life that will set a path for you to follow the rest of your journey. You have an opportunity to learn a lot this week, and there are going to be people that are going to be pouring themselves into you. It's not going to be easy, I can assure you. You are going to be uncomfortable at times. I used to tell my kids every morning before they walked out of the door to go to school, I would always tell them, make yourself uncomfortable today. And they just kind of chuckled and they laughed. But here they are, grown adults, and they still talk about that conversation we had every morning before they walked out to go to school. Because I told them, if you make yourself uncomfortable, you will experience things that you never thought you could. If you go through life comfortably, if you go through this week comfortably, if you just skate through this week, you will not have the opportunity to experience the challenges that can make you a better person. You've got 1 week, 6 days to make an impact, not just on yourselves, on your bunkmates, but ultimately when you go back to your community, have an impact on your community. How many people are in each cabin? 10, 15, 20 people per cabin. Some of those relationships, 30 maybe, some of those relationships you're going to build are going to be very close relationships. There might be 3 or 4 of you that end up connecting and enjoying those relationships, building those friendships that are going to last you not just this week, but a lifetime. Take the opportunity to get to know somebody in that bunk, in that cabin, that you don't feel comfortable having a conversation with. Get out of your comfort zone. Take a chance, take the opportunity to get to know somebody. It's uncomfortable, but that's okay because that's how you grow. That's how you become a better person. You got 24 hours. 24 hours to set your path this week. Elections are coming up tonight. General elections tomorrow, right, Matt? I think that's kind of where things are at. So you got the next 24 hours to kind of set your path for this week. You have an opportunity to be elected to office, to participate in music, to be journalism, to do all these different things. You have an opportunity to step out and sometimes do something you like doing, but other times when asked, do something you might not be comfortable with. Every opportunity you have this week is going to allow you to become a better person. Dig deep, find opportunities to make yourself better. Understand, elections have consequences. When you become an adult, you hear that often. Elections have consequences. Be thoughtful, be purposeful. Listen to those that are out there vying for those offices. See what it is that they have within them that you want them to be leaders for you. And when you see them lead, support them, encourage them. Be there to help them accomplish their goals, because it takes every single one of you to make that happen. 48 hours, 2 days from now, your path has been determined. You know what position you're going to be in here at Boise State. You've built some relationships. These next 48 hours are going to be critical, because then you've just got a few days left before it's all over. A lot can happen in 48 hours. 48 hours ago, I was delivering a eulogy for someone who greatly impacted my life over the past 8 years as I've been a part of the Rotary Club of Cheat Lake. The stories that were shared that day honored a man who exemplified exactly what I'm asking you to do this week. Be a servant. Especially those of you that become leaders, be a servant leader. Lead by example. Don't ask somebody to do something you wouldn't do yourself. As we spoke about Mike, as I heard the stories that were talking about him being a great mentor, a great husband, a great father. He served this country for almost 4 decades as an FBI agent. An incredible man who thought about others before he thought about himself. Emulate that. Go after being someone who others can rely on. And if you are in that leadership position, make sure you lead with humility. Be a servant. Number 80. That number sticks out to me because, as some of you may have been aware as you watched TV last week, if you paid any attention to it, last week was the 80th celebration of D-Day. Of brave men, 17, 18, some 19 years old, barely older than you, storming the beaches of Normandy. 2,501 Americans lost their lives that day. Every single one of them was important. But what did most of them do as they were storming those beaches? They were looking out not just for themselves and accomplishing their mission, they were looking out for each other. They carried each other out of harm's way. They helped each other whenever they were fallen. And when they themselves had paid that ultimate sacrifice, there were other brave men there beside of them, taking them out of the way, getting them back so that we could honor them and take care of them. Watching the videos last week, seeing some of those men, think about this. If there were men that were at that ceremony last week, at the youngest, 96 years old. 80 years ago, 16 years old to serve at the time. Some snuck in a little bit earlier. Woody Williams, God rest his soul, wanted to enlist a lot younger than that. A brave hero here from West Virginia who spoke for a long time here at Boise State. Medal of Honor winner. A lot of those men that were on those videos last week looked like they could have went out and stormed those beaches again. And if you would have asked them, they certainly would have. Because they thought about others before they thought about themselves. Make sure this week, as you go through it, you think about how you can step out of your comfort zone and you can take care of others when that time comes. 100. Matt mentioned a number that's very important to me on that journey. And that was 100. It was 100 days to cross this great nation. 100 will always stick out to me as a very, very important number. I wanted to finish on July 4th, so I backdated it 100 days, started on March 26th. We counted up through those 100 days, counted the hundreds of brave men and women, heroes that I met along the way, stopped at VA hospitals, VFWs, recruiting stations, and got a chance to say thank you to the hundreds and hundreds of men and women that would come out and join us on that journey, that just came out to say thank you themselves. For me, it was a very honoring and humbling experience because these were men and women who had blazed the trail. These were men and women who had sacrificed so much to give us the opportunity to go out and do the things that we were doing. And it became an opportunity for me just to say thank you. This week, think about that one person that encouraged you to come here this week. Think about every single one of those men and women that are serving in the kitchens, that are leading you through all of these trials this week, that are teaching you, that are changing you into young men who are going to be great leaders for the state of West Virginia and beyond. My goal is to see a great number of you leading this state into the future. I spent 18 years trying to get out of this state and 10 trying to get back. I'm an unapologetic West Virginian. I want this state to be better. Every single one of you young men in this room are going to make that happen. But you've got to take every opportunity this week you can to learn, to listen, to have humility. And when the opportunity arises, lead. There are hundreds of you here this week. There are 55 counties in the state of West Virginia. I asked this morning, 217. Again, I'm not going to do public math, but that's about 4 per county. That doesn't sound like a lot. But if just one of you takes the messages you learned this week back to your school, to your community, and decides that I'm going to make a difference, you will make an impact on this state far greater than you will ever imagine. There are people here this week that believe in you. There are people in your schools, there are people in your families, there are your neighbors that believe in you. You are here for a reason. These next 6 days are going to have an opportunity to set your path for the rest of your life. Take this opportunity to learn as much as you possibly can. While 100 is a very important number to me, number 1 will always stand out. Number 1, you. You are the most important person in this room. To you, to your family, to your friends, to the people next to you. There are going to be times where you feel like you just can't do anymore. I know everybody's tired, you got your bellies full, you had probably a late night. But I want you to think about this. You're going to be uncomfortable this week. Embrace it. Find the opportunity to push whenever you feel like you can't push anymore. Believe in yourself. Believe that you can do far greater things than you ever thought you could. Push yourself whenever you feel like you can't do anymore. There's an exercise I love doing with the groups whenever we kick this off every year. So I'm going to ask each of you to do this. I want each of you in the room, go ahead and raise your hands. Put your hands high above your head. Everybody wake up. If you're able, go ahead and get your hands up high above your head. Stretch them up there. All right. I know you're tired. I know it's a long night. You got an exciting week ahead of you. Put them up there high. All right. I want you to do me one more favor. Extend them up 1 more inch. All right, go ahead and put your hands down. Whenever you think this week that you don't have anything left to give, as you were pushing your hands up there and I asked you, just give me 1 more inch there, go ahead and push your hands up 1 more inch. What did you do? You gave a little bit more. You were able to push through. Whenever you think that you can't do any more this week, whenever you're being asked to do something that just seems like, I just did it, do I have to do it again? There's a reason behind it. They are teaching you life lessons. They are giving you an opportunity to be a better person than you were that morning when you woke up. One of you, 217 of you, you've got just a little over 100 hours to learn as much as you possibly can, to gain as many friendships as you possibly can, and to go back and make as big of a difference in your community as you possibly can. Take these lessons this week, become a better person, become a better you, and you will set the tone for the state of West Virginia for the next 100 years. Thank you, and God bless each one of you.
Thank you, Jamie, for your words of motivation and giving that little bit more when you think you've done everything you can. I think that's what those guys on the beaches of Omaha did. So, as a token of appreciation, this year only, my department commander coin.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Commander of the American Legion in the Central Region just got into us from Georgia Boys State, and he's going to head next to Buckeye Boys State after here. Mark Shreve grew up in Smoke Hole, West Virginia, attended and graduated from West Virginia University, so we want to give him a warm welcome back to West Virginia.